course, the much anticipated prize distribution ceremony. This event, I would like to invite on stage our senior management team members and our guests to call upon their names. Dr. P.K. Mohanty, CUTM Andhra Pradesh event. I would like to invite on stage our senior management team, Dr. Subhata Chakravarti, SOET. Last but not the least, our guest of the event, Ms. Devika Mittal, Regional Head, Avalanche. And all our assembly members and guests to please occupy their seats on the stage. With the regional head, occupy their seats on the stage. With the regional head, we have on our stage Dr. P.K. Mohanty sir, VCCUTM Andhra Pradesh, Dr. Sushanta Chakravarti ma'am, Dean SOET, and our guest Devika Mittal ma'am. We also have Shreyash Pandey sir from the last 4 days. Formally welcome our guests. I would like to invite T.K. Mohanty sir and Sujata Chakravarti ma'am to extend a warm welcome to Ms. Devika Mittal with a beautiful bouquet. Devika served as the regional head for Ava Labs, contributing to the growth and development of the Avalanche blockchain network. She is passionate about cutting edge technologies, particularly expanding tech access in emerging markets and championing female led initiatives. Devika holds a BA from Yale, New Haven, and an MBA from Wharton, Pennsylvania. Before joining Eva Labs, she was the head of token listings at OpenCoin, significantly increasing the platform's user base and revenue. She also held a leadership role at Microsoft, focusing on early blockchain investments and corporate strategy. Her specialties span gaming, crypto, business operations, strategies, and Web3. Thank you everyone for welcoming our guest. Now I would like to request all our members on the dais to please occupy the chairs of the stage and enjoy the event. Moving forward, we are delighted to present a series of cultural performances to celebrate the diverse talents of our students. Let's begin with the grace and elegance of a classical masterpiece, Odissi. One of the oldest surviving dance form is renowned for its grace, fluidity, and intricate movements that tell stories from Hindu mythologies, particularly focusing on the worship of Lord Jagannath, an incarnation of Vishnu. Please put your hands together for Soumya Priyadarshini Pati from MSc Zoology, who will be performing an enchanting Odissi dance.
ये ये कैमरा डाउन এটা কন্টিনিউয়াস দেখতে আপনার কাছে ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ আর এটা ধরে নিয়ে কাছে থাকে হয়ে যাচ্ছে তো আমরা yes it's that was
Thank you, Ashish, for making this beautiful video. And that was truly mesmerizing. Next up, we have a Saturday dance. It is a vibrant and energetic folk dance populating from this region of Latin America. So let's welcome Bhubaneswar Suna from BSc Botany to reunite the atmosphere with his energetic performance. So guys, please give them a big round of applause.
বুঝলাম অন্যটা নয় যে আমরা অপশনে চলা যায়নি
Such a beautiful display. We now have Mr. Babu Shankar sir and the debater. Thank you for joining us. Now, I would like to call our guest, Mr. Debater Method, to share thoughts and highlights of organic blockchain technology and also for panel discussion with other students. The topic of this discussion will explore the future of blockchain and how Avalanche is leading the charge in shaping decentralized data systems.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, after this very scintillating these performances, amazing. So firstly, thank you guys so much. That was awesome. I've never seen at least the second answer. Thank you so much. I love this. Really enjoyed that. And thank you guys all for having us here. So Shreyash, I and the community were super grateful that you have spent 4 days of your life learning how to build on Avalanche. So first, I want to say thank you to all. Can you guys hear me now? I think, what we really going to discuss today, right, is why are we even doing this? Like, why are you dedicating 4 days of your life, a very useful life, to blockchain? So, We hear about crypto, we hear about blockchain, we hear about AI, we hear about IoT, we're hearing a lot of buzzwords, a lot of content, a lot of conversation. But like really at the end of it, what is it and why are we doing it? That's kind of what I really want to talk about. So when you think about the number of blockchain token owners, let's talk about just the crypto side for a second. Right? We can see that India has the largest number of blockchain crypto token owners in the world. Now, of course, we also have one of the largest populations in the world, so maybe that makes sense. But if you reflect on that for a second, what this is really telling you is that India population is quite tech savvy, right? We understand decentralization as a concept. We understand, you know, why why value decentralization, why value blockchain, right? And we're looking for ways to tap into that market, whether that's through crypto as a token holder, or whether that's through actually building decentralized applications. So, how do I play this? Okay. So, we've spent 4 days talking about Avalanche and building on Avalanche. But before we do that, and before we talk about Avalanche specifically, I want to talk about the blockchain ecosystem. So, how many guys know what a layer, guys and girls, by the way, that's what I mean. How many people know what a layer one is? Can you guys raise your hands? Okay, very few. Okay. How many people know what a DEX is? Any hands? Okay, one. Okay, stable coins. Same 560. Okay, some few more. Okay, wallets. Okay, everybody knows wallets. Now you guys all know wallets. So when we think about Avalanche, I think it's really important to understand what a layer one is and why do we build on a layer one. So let's look at the history of blockchain. So So let's look at the history of blockchain. So blockchain as a concept and as a technology was created with the Bitcoin white papers. I mean, it was put into the world with the Bitcoin white papers, and they launched Bitcoin as a token. That's version one, right? Now, after blockchain, after Bitcoin, Ethereum was created by Vitalik. Now, how many people know about Ethereum? A lot of people know about it. Okay, great. So, what did Ethereum do? Can anybody tell me, like, what is the main thing about Ethereum that makes it special over Bitcoin? Anybody? We can start.
You build your own application onto the blockchain.
Okay, so you can build your application on the blockchain. So Ethereum, what does Ethereum have? It has something called smart contracts. That's what you guys have been doing for the last 4 days. Like you've been building smart contracts using Solidity on Avalanche. What you're saying is if X is X and Y is Y, then C happens, right? So if A and B condition are met, C is executed automatically. That's a smart contract. Now, once Ethereum was built, that's the OG layer one. People started building their applications on it. But they soon realized that actually Ethereum wasn't built for scale, right? It wasn't built to host the number of data that was trying to get put on Ethereum. So what happens is that Ethereum gas prices rise. There's a lot of congestion in the network, and it takes 12 minutes almost for your transactions to be executed on Ethereum. Again, what does this mean? There's a lot of issues. Your data is getting put on time. You're having blockages. There might be some fraud. There might be some risk of hacks. There's a lot of like a host of issues. So then what happened? There's a whole ecosystem of layer twos that were created. Now, layer twos are applications. They're blockchain applications. They're blockchain layers that are built on top of Ethereum to deal with the issues that Ethereum has. So instead of putting all your data on Ethereum and paying, say, $1,000 per transaction, I'm just making that up, you will put all of your data on, say, Polygon or an Optimism, and they will batch all of your data. They'll put all of your data together and then put it on Ethereum. They let it run. Does this make sense so far? Can I get a show of hands? People that don't understand, just people who didn't understand. Okay, this is making sense. Okay, 1% didn't understand, sorry, at least 50. So now, if you think about it, right, what we're doing is we're putting all of this data, we were putting all of this data on Ethereum. And Ethereum inherently had some of its drawbacks. So what happened?
There's a host of layer ones that came in and they said, wait, instead of putting everything on Ethereum and further centralizing the system, so to speak, why don't we create better tech? And people can build their better tech to start with. So that's what Avalanche is. Avalanche is a layer one. It's a core fundamental blockchain technology that you build on. So Avalanche is the smartest, fastest smart contract platform in the industry as measured by time to finality. Now, I'm just going to do another show of hands. Do people know what time to finality is? Yes, one guy. The two guys who know Avalanche. Okay, nobody else. Okay, time to finality means once I've tried to execute a action, how long does it take for it to be put on the blockchain? Now, if I'm trying to send Bitcoin to Shriyash and it says processing for 10 minutes, that means it took 10 minutes for it to be finalized on the blockchain. So it's pretty immutably recorded once it's finalized, right? So when you are the fastest smart contract platform in the industry, as measured by time to finality, what does that mean? It means that the second you want to execute an action, it is finalized on the blockchain. Now, fundamentally, what this means is that your application just works. There is no risk of fraud and there's no risk of delays. And there's no risk of high transaction volumes or congestion. Now, this is going to be huge as you start building and as you start scaling your blockchain applications. So just keep these kind of terms in mind when you think about, what it is that I'm building, what is the scale I'm trying to build for, and why am I building what I'm building. So Avalanche is backed by major venture capital players, including the famous, A16Z, Polychain Capital, and more. It's compatible with most developer tools out there. It's secured by more than 1,300 validators. What that means is more than 1,300 computers are running nodes to secure the network, further decentralizing it. And we have more than 1,000. Actually, this is an old slide. We have more than 1,500 real applications that are running in real time, making revenues in real time on average. So we work with some of the largest government and enterprise organizations in the world. Everybody from MasterCard to Unilever to JP Morgan to IEEE to Centurion Whiskey, which is very exciting for me, to Geo, to Franklin Templeton, and many, many more. What sets us apart? As I mentioned, is how does the blockchain finalize like a transaction? And how it does that is through a consensus mechanism. So I won't get into this too much, and if people have a lot of questions, we can chat about it. But essentially, what Avalanche did is that it innovated on the consensus mechanism in a way that, as proven by the last 6 years, just works. And why were we able to do that? Is because Avalanche was created by Dr. Emin Gunsider and some of his PhD students at Cornell University. This wasn't somebody who was just trying to create a pump and dump scheme. This wasn't somebody who was trying to fly into the crypto hype, but really somebody who had been a professor at Cornell for 19 years, who understood the ecosystem, who understood the tech, and was setting out to build something that lasts. So when you build on Avalanche, right now, when you're building all of these kind of test products, what you're trying to do is that you're trying to build on the C chain. That's our contract chain. That's the chain that if you go on a Coinbase or you go on a Binance and you try to buy a token, you're buying a token on the public C chain. But what's interesting about Avalanche is it's a lot more than that. And the reason why Avalanche is winning is it goes beyond the C chain. Wait. So I'll tell you how. So as I mentioned, right, the first generation of blockchains was single asset and single chain. So Bitcoin, as an example. Now with Bitcoin, there's just one token, Bitcoin. There's just one chain, right, which is the Bitcoin like public chain. You buy and you sell Bitcoin, everything is on that same chain. All transactions are put on the same chain. The second generation of blockchains were multi-asset or single chain. Again, now if I'm building on Ethereum, which some of you might have tried it, you can have many, many ERC20 tokens. Those are Ethereum tokens built on Ethereum. So you could have a Shriyash token and you can have SID token and a Devika token and all of these tokens which are built on Ethereum. But again, they're all being transacted on the same Ethereum chain. Everything is put on the same database in real time. And that's where the problems happen, right? That's where the congestion happens. That's where the time to finality comes in. That's where the congestion comes in. That's where the high prices come in. Now, as I mentioned, a single blockchain has its limits in that it enforces the same rules for all projects and all data. You can't decide your data on Ethereum is private because you fundamentally cannot be private because Ethereum is public. You cannot decide that you want to build something that only Centurion should be able to access because, like inherently, you cannot do that because Ethereum doesn't allow it, right? Now, if I wanted to build something for just Centurion, or I wanted to build something for just the universities of India, or I wanted to build something for just all the people called Devika in the world, okay? I can't do that on a public chain because I can't choose my laws that govern my smart contract. Now, as we see, the last few years, people have built on blockchain to build on blockchain, but not the blockchain suited them. And now we're at that inflection point where now we're actually optimizing blockchains to build for the use cases. So that's where the third generation of blockchains come in. Now, the third generation of blockchains are both multi-asset and multi-chain. Now, what does this mean? This is what it looks like. Now, instead of one chain, which is the Avalanche C chain, where all of your Avalanche tokens lie, now we have this whole ecosystem of chains, and they all operate completely independently. Now, Shriya's token sits on its own chain. If he's putting 10,000 transactions per second on his chain, it does not impact my Devika chain if I'm building my Devika token. If he wants his data to be permissioned and I want my data to be permissionless, we can do that. If he wants to have a private chain and I want to have a public chain, I can do that. What that means is that when you're a builder and you're building something, you have not just your time to finality and your security, but you have the flexibility to build for your needs. Does this make sense so far? Okay. So really what we are doing here and what I'm trying to show you guys in the last 4 days and today is that what I want you to do when you think about building an Avalanche and building a blockchain in general is think about how to build with the flexibility of what you want to build. How do I create a product that has the rules that I want? It has the security thresholds that I want. It has the compliance requirements that I want. And its smart contracts allows me to automate what I want. So the opportunity here, right, as a developer, is really to take part in the Avalanche ecosystem. I believe Shreyash talked about this yesterday to you guys about our Retro 9000 program. There's a lot of opportunity to try building your own, what we call layer one. So now instead of it being Ethereum versus Avalanche, everything you build is your own layer one. It doesn't rely on me and it doesn't rely on anybody else. So if you are an individual, just think about the kind of freedom this gives you. My favorite part of this is really the gas fee structure. Now, because you own your layer one when you're building, if you don't want to have a gas fees, you don't have that biggest thing which is powerful with organizations and institutions. Like the California DMV or the NEGD in India, right? Or the MAPI, like Ministry of IT in India, they don't want a gas token, right? They don't want to be paying 10 rupees per transaction to me and they don't want to be paying it to you. So they want to build blockchain systems where the data is decentralized, right? Where there is security, where there is immutability without crypto side, right? Without the gas tokens. So if you want to build that, like really right now, this is the way to do it. So, again, this is really to say earlier it was sexy to be on chain, right? It's on chain data, like how do we fit things on chain? Lights gone, lights gone. But now it's really about it's just data, right? And you're using blockchain as a way to store it in a way that works for you. Whether that is healthcare, whether that is loyalty, whether that's admissions data, whether that's IoT data from agriculture, whatever it is, it's just a way for you to store data in the best way possible. So we can get into this, but how does it compare? There are other solutions in the market, but again, we just haven't seen anything like Avalanche so far, and that's really why every large organization in the world, as I mentioned, who's doing blockchain is working with us. So we'll skip through this. We'll skip through this. IEEE, I see that, we partners at IEEE in Bhubaneswar, so I'm highlighting this. All digital certificates issued in India for IEEE are issued on Avalanche. And again, the reason is because they know that they can choose the rules that they want for the data that they want. So, what is our support for you as developers? So, we've talked about Retro 9000. That's specifically for building your own layer one. But we also have a lot of other programs that I would really encourage you as developers to think about participating in and applying. So, if you are passionate about blockchain and you're passionate about Avalanche, engage with us. So, at step one, you have an idea and you don't know how to execute it. We have an incubator program called Codebase. We take applications twice a year. And the goal is to get the guys with really good ideas and no way to figure out product market fit to test it out in a safe environment. And we fund it. So we give $50,000 per project upfront. And then on pitch day, you can get up to $1 million. If you have an idea and you have a product, but you haven't quite figured out how to go to market, and especially if you're sitting in India, then just come talk to me directly. We are now starting a series of incubator programs where we're going to be taking in projects in India, incubating them in India, and then helping launch. If you're even earlier, you have an idea, you've tested something out at this 4-day workshop, but you just need a little bit more to keep going. Again, reach out to us. We give mini grants programs that are stage gated. So as and when you complete your development and launch, we'll unlock more capital. If everything is done, you have your project, you have your customers, you have your product market fit, you want to go and scale, right? Again, reach out to us. We do two things, three things. We give grants, we give investments, and then we also invest through our VC fund. So for that, we invest either through the foundation, which would be me and my team, or through our venture fund called this. So I guess the goal of all of this, right, is to really showcase first the tech deal, make you a believer, make you excited about it, and then tell you to come talk to us. Because Odisha specifically, right, and Centurion even more specifically, has this whole pool of talent that is incredible. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, right? All of this together. I'm seeing everything from virtual reality to IoT to you know, uh, you know, what is called electric cars to physical manufacturing to everything under the sun. And what I really would like to see out of you students now is another cohort of blockchain experts and blockchain engineers who are coming and launching products that you can take to market and capitalize. So come and talk to us. I'm really excited to see all the projects and best of luck. So I think now maybe this question answers. Thank you.
The mics at the back. So you have any question you can ask. Yeah, so now we'll be continuing the panel discussions. If you have questions and ask, you can ask anything, ma'am.
So it's like I've got an idea and I want to capitalize on it. I don't like that, promise. Yeah.
So, ma'am, you said we can talk with you for funding and stuff like that. So, if we're really having how can we talk with you? What are the ways?
Yeah, so actually, let me put this for a second. Yes. Put my screen back. So this is the way to contact us. So the best way is either Twitter or Telegram. I really don't check my emails that much. Hashtag blockchain, hashtag crypto. So, so reach out on Twitter, reach out on Telegram. I will try to respond in a week, if not a two.
And ma'am, what are the opportunities for the ones like who are really good at marketing things but not from that coding side of things? Like they have any opportunity in this entire world?
Yeah. So we have an ambassador program. So actually, our workshop was led by an amazing ambassador. So you can be an ambassador of Avalanche. So once you're trained in Avalanche, Avalanche will make you an ambassador for our program. You will get to travel, hopefully all across India and more. You'll get to see a lot of exciting things. You'll get to meet a lot of exciting people, and there'll be a revenue opportunity for you as well.
So like, is there a formal way to apply for this ambassador program?
There is a formal way to apply. Shriyash will walk you through it afterwards.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. So I have a question that we and our groups are building a project in agriculture sector. So what we are doing that we are creating a contract-based farming system where a farmers and a buyer come together, where buyer will ask for the kind of crops that this much amount of crops you want for this, and the farmer where the farmer will accept it by the contract that both of them will sign the contract between them, and in middle we will put a escrow system where the amount will be transferred by the buyer in a go where the buyer put his order. Okay, so in this I have a question that is Avalanche helping the agriculture month so we can come together and do this project as wide as we can.
Yeah, actually, great question. So actually, there's an idea that's being incubated within Centurion itself by Dr. Rao and ma'am, which is, I would say, similar. It's not exactly the same. So firstly, I would encourage you to talk to your professors and to talk to your head of departments about this. Secondly, this is definitely something we're very interested in helping with. So again, when you think about it, right, what is the goal? The goal is to provide better technology to people, and the goal is to create adoption. So here, if you're able to get the farmers onto your platform, right, and actually use it, then of course, I'm absolutely 100% going to help support this. And I think that's something that Centurion is already working on and doing successfully. So definitely talk to your professors, come talk to me afterwards. I'm happy to help support this.
Ma'am, I have one more question about the metaverse and the gaming sector. How the Avalanche support the metaverse and gaming culture in platform?
So I think your question is how are we supporting metaverse and gaming companies, right, within the Avalanche ecosystem? So we are doing a lot. Actually, we have I think it's a $300 million multiverse fund. We also have a gaming fund. If you're passionate about gaming, you will see that most big games, I think I'll say actually all the large games that are launching in blockchain are launching on Avalanche. So Shark is one, which is pretty big. Godzilla is another one. Maple Story Universe is, I think it was the first free-to-play game in Web2 in the world. It's also still one of the most popular like free-to-play games in the world. They're launching on Avalanche. So it is a lot. And we have a pretty good culture. We have a pretty good team. We have a pretty good like ecosystem. I'm on a Telegram group chat with 400 people who are just talking about games all day, every day. I honestly don't read it that much because I get overwhelmed. But I am happy to add you if that's something you want to do. And you can find your people and you can find your ecosystem.
Epic, you are creating a multi-asset you can trade with businesses like a streets, at a single place where gamers and all the computers which are making the games, they can trade and buy the all the things those are including metaverse. Then how can we integrate with this Avalanche new content?
Yeah, so that's a cool thing, right? So we were talking about multi-chain, multi-asset. So this is a great example. So when you're talking about multiple games, right? Say Shrapnel versus, I'm just gonna say GTA versus a FIFA. I'm just making up even normal Web2 games. So all of these games, they wanna own their own data, right? And they wanna own their own games. But somehow the goal is to make all of these assets interoperable somehow, right? So that you can sell, your skins in one game from player to player, or also maybe you want to swap your FIFA stuff with your like GTA stuff. I mean, I'm just making up random examples. But you can't do that normally, right? So now, if you have your own chains, and each game has its own chain, which is happening. If you have a platform that sits in the middle as an intermediary, you can absolutely make it happen. So if you look at all of the games on Avalanche, the only thing is they're already natively interoperable, which means they can swap between each other natively. So the value of an NFT platform here is not huge. But I think again, the thing is you have to innovate and think, what is it that I'm providing more than just swapping? Right? Am I providing anything to users beyond just swapping? Because now these games can swap within each other with no intermediary. So if you're adding a value add, you're creating something exciting for your users, then let's create this way to this. Because we have a lot of games, so you have a lot of audience.
Hello. Hello. As I learned within 3 days, grants, bitcoins, and lots of things. Ma'am, I just asked, glass only provide bitcoins for that kind of things, or he provide us security for things.
Okay, so I think your question is like, what does Avalanche provide?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So actually, so Bitcoin is a different chain, right? Bitcoin, there's a lot of projects trying to build on Bitcoin. I mean, with limited success, but there's some success. So think of Bitcoin as another chain, as another competitor almost to Avalanche, but one which has less scale. You can buy and sell Bitcoin, but you can't do anything on Bitcoin. On Avalanche, you can buy and sell the token, but beyond that, you can build on it in terms of security. Actually, I have a slide. Let's actually put it up. Yeah. Okay. So here you're talking about like what does Avalanche provide, right? So when you think about blockchains, there's a few main metrics that people measure blockchains by. So as I mentioned, time to finality is one. What are the other ones too? Is it energy efficient? Right? Am I using the energy of a whole country to run my network? Ideally, I should be doing that. Bitcoin often people complain that it's too energy inefficient. What is my throughput? Right? How many transactions can I put on the chain in 1 second in real time? What are the number of validators that we have? Which is how many people are protecting the network? What is the consensus mechanism we have, civil protection, and then what is the safety threshold? So when measured, in terms of a blockchain, what is the threshold that we feel as a secure system we have? Now, when you compare it to other major ones that we have, I'm very excited to be working for an organization where the safety threshold is quite high. So I can tell you that you can build an Avalanche without feeling like there's going to be some hack on the product and it's going to come back to me. So basic threshold is 80%, but there's also all of these other things that you can get. So in terms of what does it provide, I guess I would ask you, what is it that you want, right? And then we can see if it provides that.
Yeah, I'm a student, and in few months I have started research on uh, Bitcoin's blockchain security. I started and I started read lots of research paper, and there is very small things that all these that security measure every research paper there is a missing that measure security. That how it's possible that we provide a measure security low level.
So I am not the most technical person. I think you're probably way more technical than I am. What I will is I will have somebody send you the information and I'll connect you to our developer relations team. So they would be the perfect people to answer your question. But I think what I'm understanding from your question is A, like why aren't people talking about security, and B, how are they measuring it, right? So in terms of why aren't people talking about security, most projects aren't talking about security because I don't know, maybe they're not that secure, right? They don't want to talk about it. Um, the reason we talk about security is because again, it's been tested time and time again. And when you build an ecosystem on Avalanche, right? Every chain is its own chain, but it's on Avalanche. What we're doing is that we're creating what I said is native interoperability. So each project can transact and interact with each other native within the net. Now, most hacks happen when there's a bridge. So there was a very famous hack that happened, which was the wormhole hack. It was like 200 or 300 million dollars that was stolen, ciphered off. People didn't find it. That happens when you create a bridge between one chain and another chain. That's because no one's testing the bridges. People are still testing the blockchains. No one is testing the bridges, maybe to the extent that they should be. Now, when you're creating an ecosystem within a chain, that issue goes away. So I'll get you the details, but I think that should answer your question.
Thank you. I just one question. And the we have like we have a like text executor so very like you want to so like when we have a native text like so in Avalanche for the launch of and stuff. So in a similar way, we have the native text marketplace for Avalanche. Because I have seen such third party marketplace.
We have a few. I think the most popular one is Jokex. Um, so I said that to you. But again, I think, because Avalanche has become more like a real blockchain with real use cases, and NFTs right now, I think, aren't really having a moment, so to speak. So the popularity, the need for a native NFT marketplace isn't really there. Now, again, if it was providing some really interesting use case, then I think there is an opportunity to get.
So like that launch meeting on like Avalanche or even build a L1. So like need to be that only with the marketplace. That
So I think his question is if I launched my own game on Avalanche, would I need to launch my own NFT? Well, yes and no, because within your game itself, you can create the functionality for tradability. So you don't have to have a separate NFT marketplace where people are going to swap their products, right? Now, if I want to send my skin to Shriyas, I can just do it within the game without exiting the ecosystem. So I think that is really the future model that we are building out versus these separate NFT marketplaces.
last like let's say like we are able to showcase the whatever we are written with like data and like for classes. So like will we be able to kind of change around of
So I think his question is if they take a grant from Avalanche, they only have to bid on Avalanche. So, that's a good question. I think it depends. So I don't think that's a great answer for you, but it depends. So typically, I will say when we are giving investments, right, or we're giving funding, obviously our goal is to grow the Avalanche ecosystem, right? I mean, I'm not a non-for-profit. I mean, Able Labs is not a non-for-profit. So the goal is still to grow the Avalanche ecosystem. So when Able Labs is looking at a project, right, and when investing, we might ask you to have a period of exclusivity, but we won't stop you from being money in the long run.
Okay. Afternoon. Afternoon. So I have one question regarding Avalanche. So as we know that the moving sectors are like between AI and the one and very good access. So Avalanche is looking into sorting back for a basic home.
Well, I would say great questions. The question was right, like there's DBIT, which is decentralized physical infrastructure. Then there's RWAs, which are real world assets, and a few other kind of AI and all of these other things. And the question was, what is Avalanche doing about it? I would say everything. Right? If you look at the news, we're actually the leading blockchain for all of the ones you mentioned. So thank you for mentioning them because I didn't. So when you look at RWAs, right, real world assets, it's like a big buzzword. What is RWAs? RWAs are when you take a real world, typically physical asset or financial asset, right, like money, like real estate, like crops, right? Can you take something that's physical of an asset, real world asset, and digitize and tokenize it on chain? So your ownership now exists on blockchain. So when I want to sell my property and it's on blockchain, that ownership document goes from me to somebody else when they buy it. Right? When I want to sell a financial asset, that financial asset goes from me to somebody else on blockchain. So if you're looking at RWAs, actually Avalanche is doing like is the leader. Everybody from JP Morgan to Citibank to KKR to Franklin Templeton to like major real estate organizations, they're all building their RWA tokenization use cases on Avalanche. Again, because of the multi-chain, multi-asset ecosystem. They want to have, again, is a very like high security, privacy, data, like, assets, right? Everybody wants their own ecosystem. JP Morgan doesn't want you like meddling in ecosystem, right? JP Morgan doesn't want that because you're putting transactions on your chain, they're going to have delays transacting on their financial assets. So they can build their own chain, which they're doing, but making it interoperable with other chains. That's what they're doing in RFQs. Similarly, with DeepIn and AI, there's a lot of action that's happening. I would really encourage you to follow our Twitter and follow my posting about it. The Avalanche India Twitter keeps posting about it. And maybe there's something that inspires
For you guys, but one more question regarding like GPU share. The Solana ecosystem has been booming with GPU sharing, like the renter itself, which was previously I think RMDR. So it is really like renter now and it's do you guys think that others will look into GPU sharing too?
absolutely. I know I think two projects personally that are considering it. I'm trying to think about how to do it. So if you want to be first, please reach out.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words.
Of course.
No more questions?
Yeah, I should agree upon that blockchains are secure, but is it coming to real life? Is it really economically feasible? And do really big companies like Facebook and because they the users' data, they really adopt this blockchain technology?
Yeah, great question. So he's asking, we talk about it's secure theoretically, but are real large companies actually adopting blockchain tech? So yes, and I think the big issue, the big reason is because they are secure. And so again, as I said, right, the first generation and the second generation of blockchains were not ideal, right? If I am a large company, I'm a Microsoft. I used to work at Microsoft. If I'm a Microsoft, I'm not building on this, right? It doesn't make any sense. I'm constrained by all of these random rules. I can't build what I want. I can't own my data. Like, it just, they want idea, right? And the only way you could build on blockchain in a private network, for example, was Hyperledger. But Hyperledger also has a lot of tokens. So what are companies doing now? So I won't say every company is jumping in gung ho, but you are now seeing a lot of major companies with a lot of sensitive data that are moving on to blockchain. So I mentioned a few right now. So, let's think about Citibank, right, or JP Morgan or Franklin Templeton. These are major global conglomerates with millions, if not trillions of points of very, very sensitive data, right? And what they are doing is that they are starting to tokenize their assets, tokenize their funds. Another one is KKR, right? Major financial conglomerate. They're looking at very sensitive data and they're moving it on chain to reduce some of the load, whether that is for auditability, right? When data is on blockchain, when the movement of money or like secure assets is moving around, it's easy to audit a blockchain, much more than like a paper trail, right? They do it for the security. They do it because you can tokenize it and you can move it in interesting ways, in ways you couldn't. And they're doing it because it's reducing a lot of the friction that exists in the normal market. So I'll give you an example. So KKR is a major global fund. They have multiple different funds that they, like invest in. And typically you have to be either HNI or an institutional organization to be able to invest in their funds. because their ticket sizes are very large. So if I want to get any, so they have a fund, for example, healthcare. Now, healthcare too will invest in all these healthcare companies, and you know these guys are very good at what they do, so they're going to make a lot of money back, hopefully, and they have high returns. But theoretically, say I need $1 million to enter the fund. I don't have $1 million. So what this means is that normal retail user was never able to access the gains that private large investors get. Right? That's true. Now, when you tokenize part of your fund, right, and you put on blockchain, you're reducing a lot of your overheads that you need. If you're putting it on a smart contract, I have this KYC requirement, this AML requirement, this ABC. A, you're creating auditability easily. B, you're reducing your overheads. Now, what does this do? This reduces your friction and helps you lower the entry threshold to the fund. So now, I believe the entry threshold into the fund, or that the tokenized part of the fund, is $100,000. Still a lot, but it's not a million, right? So that's the ways that you're seeing very large organizations enter blockchain in ways that actually do deal with very sensitive data and large troves of data. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I don't know. Does the growth of quantum computing pose a security threat to the blockchain? And how does Avalanche try to combat?
Sorry, can you say it again?
Growth of quantum computing, does it pose a security threat?
So I guess why would the growth of quantum computing be a threat to blockchain?
Because we can try to crack the blockchain hash codes and all this using the, because at a large number of calculations are being done using quantum computing, and it's on the boom now, and it just started. So as the blockchain also improves, even the quantum computing can also improve, so that we can also try to compromise the security of the blockchain.
I think our ambassador has a lot of thoughts on this. So I will get somebody give him the mic. Instead of me answering, I think we have a lot of answers here already. Yeah.
I can try and answer that. Can I please?
Okay.
See, the issue with quantum computers is, first thing is, quantum computers are still not efficient enough. Okay, they produce a lot of false positives, lot of errors. And the second thing is, yeah, you are absolutely right. If quantum computers get near error free, then you can decrypt those hash values and you can decrypt anything on the network within fraction of seconds. But then again, do you really think quantum computers would be sitting in our phones and our desktops? It won't be uh, in that way, right? It will just be with the governments or big organizations which are just keeping it for research purpose. So I personally believe it is a far-fetched thought and will take time. And also there are quantum resistant hashing and encryption methods. That is that change the encryption with time, and the previous encryption no longer refers to the data. And it is also under progress, and it will develop in time. And I believe, yeah, obviously, quantum computer will pose a threat if quantum resistant mechanisms are not being implemented in the same ways.
Awesome answer.
I have got terms. First one is proof of stake. Proof of stake. See, I personally think everyone should believe it is better than proof of work. But at the end of the day, those big companies which are putting something at stake, uh, they have they have a higher chance of being like the validator than the other small networks or small companies, right? Or individuals who are participating in the network, right? So don't you think this particular proof of stake thing also needs improvement, and this is not the end. Like we can have better mechanisms which would be helpful, and we would actually implement this decentralization thing rather than big mining companies which are establishing their hardware and always ending up getting this kind of validator.
It's a good question. So the second question was, what is proof of stake blockchain? Proof of stake says that if you have staked, if you have locked in, say, 1,000 Ethereum, and I have locked in 100 Ethereum, you are 10 times more likely to get the chance to validate the transaction every time a transaction comes onto the chain. And what this means is that he makes 10 times more money than I do, right? Just because he was able to put in 10 times the capital upfront. Now, I agree with you. It's not a great net system. And that's actually why, Avalanche is not strictly a proof of stake consensus mechanism. So so there is a staking requirement, which is a minimum threshold, right? So you have to stake a minimum, I believe it's 2000 AVAX. You have to stake a minimum of 2000 AVAX to be a validator on the system. However, once you are a validator on the system, what we do is what we call the random sampling consensus mechanism. So unfortunately I don't have the slides here right now. I normally do, but I didn't know people are gonna want to get so much into the deck. But basically what this does is every time a transaction comes, say we have 100 validators, right? There's a certain number. So I think say for example it's 5. So what it'll do is it'll sample 5 random validators and ask them whether they think this transaction is legitimate or not. Now, if say 4 out of 5 say yes, he'll assume that all 5 have said yes. Then he'll move to the next set of 5 random validators. So what it does is that in quickly in real time, say in less than a second, right? It samples almost all, if not all of the validators of the network to ask if the transaction is legitimate or not. So actually, it is not a proof of stake. Each participant, each validator gets to participate in the system for each transaction.
And I believe, like, do we have any opportunity like Centurion can participate in this thing and become a validator? Because we have one cool crypto community, and I believe Centurion possesses all the capabilities to bring up those hardwares necessary for being a validator. So,
Actually, you don't need that much hardware to become a validator. Yeah. So after ACP 77, if you wanted to have your own blockchain, right, your own L1, you actually don't need to stake anything. But then again, you can also choose not to have gas fees. So that's a separate thing. But if you want to be a validator on the main chain, you still need to stake your 2000 AVAX. So if Centurion wants to do it, if they want to stake 2000 AVAX, by all means, they can be one validator, two validators, three validators, right? Depends on how much capital they want to stake into the system. And if they believe in the Avalanche ecosystem, which I hope they do after today, then this is definitely an opportunity. There's nobody stopping you. You guys can definitely do it. I think we're good. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for asking me. Take a photo to reach out, whatever, message us. And I really hope that if you're building on Avalanche after 4 days, you're really excited about it. You're joining our community, you're attending our events. Shares, please stand up, show them your face. This is the head of community. He's gonna follow them. So just, I just thank both of you again so much. So thank you guys. And let's see the finalists and see the winners and see the I suppose.
Dear all, the moment we all were waiting for, the winner announcement and prize distribution ceremony. But before we announce the winner's name, we would like to thank all our evaluators, Ms. Tulsi Deshri, Mr. Sanif Kumar Das, Mr. Pushkar Kishore, Mr. Satya Stride, Mr. Paramveer Singh, Mr. Sarnavo Saha Sardar, and Mr. Ankit Das from FusionWeb.ai. Who have participated in the Avalanche India Hackathon Bootcamp. Now I would like Devika Mittal ma'am to announce the teams who are the winners of this hackathon.
So, one second, my phone is otherwise occupied. Give me 1 second. Okay, so actually, I would love to get both of you guys to come up on stage and give the announcements, etc. So I give you one minute.
To provide this to all the winners, I would like to call Dr. P.K. Mohanty sir, Dr. Sujata Chakravarti ma'am, Babu Shankar sir, Shreyash Pandey sir, and Sarnav sir with Devika ma'am for prize distribution.
I
भाई हमने ट्राई
So it was really a very tough call. Like many of you have had really good projects, and the ideas were really novel for many. But like there is only three positions. But hopeful that all of you will be continuing developing your products and hopefully make it to the Retro 9000. So starting from the second runner position is Team Token Impulse.
Please come up on the stage.
Future vision, Retro 9000 shirts. Actually, I don't even have one yet, so you guys get them before me. So we need a There's one for everybody. So if you guys want to just grab, so, yeah.
And then your vouchers will be on your email. Some Swiggy vouchers.
Oh, sweet.
Swiggy.
Oh, no, so you guys get some Swiggy vouchers as well. So thank you so much. Feeling on up.
Let's have a big round of applause for
Okay, so here come the next team. And this is, yeah, I guess it's, like you guys are having you might have seen what was for buildings. But anyways, I'm gonna announce this team ID is actually 30, but they are on the position second. And this is team NBMD, lead name Joy Sukumar.
Swiggy ones. Nice. Guys, you're getting more swag out of Avalanche than you know. So okay, and number one. So one more team, right? So number one is Team Predators with team leads 2021.
on the stage.
Yeah. Please give them a big round of applause.
Excuse me, ma'am.
So guys, I just want to take a second and do a shout out to your amazing coach and teacher for the last 4 days. And Julia. Please come. Come. Yeah. Yeah. I get hyped. I want to see like sweat faces. Okay.
Some of the people at the back can stand up and can cheer. Okay. From the back. You can stand up and cheer. Yeah, raise your hand like the hands on the back. Like the victory sign or anything you want. Cheer up. You can, from the back you stand. From the back. Back line stand. Yeah. खड़े हो जाओ यार. Yeah, take it one. Campus to crypto community member. Please come forward. Now, campus to crypto community member. Come forward once. Campus. I know that. Maybe campus don't know about it. Campus to crypto community. Come first. In campus. Come first.
I want to see more women in the campus to crypto group next time though. Not enough. What's in the well, 88 girls participated, right? Let's keep it up. I want to see projects of you guys. Settle down. We have 10 more minutes of program to make the settle down. Video officer to please address the audience. I don't know for a city to trust me now. Firstly, so I'm orphan out here, and plus next one to understanding the part of this event. Um, I must request all of you, give a round of appreciation. All of you for your we are actually honored and privileged to have collaboration with the Avalanche and particularly we really have lots of people present here on the last day that has actually given a boost to all our community support. You can be surprised all the states which started the development system in services and in 17 we were looking for partners to work on different technology. By that time started like many domains and 17 we had one of the guest resource who was the friend of our vice president gave a talk here and during that time only one person who knew about and understood something about and army is just that. And in that time he was a student of diploma mechanical. And since that then from there that community started. They had a very good community and joined. We, of course, the Ivan is not present now. He was also an alumni. And now you have seen a big team. Very excited and very happy that we have organized a 4 days workshop. Again, this is very unique in a country like India. Perhaps I have never done in any other institute or university, including IITs and NITs, more than a day. So we had opportunity for 4 days for all of us to learn and explore. And this is was one of the there is a tremendous opportunity in this particular technology and community that to pursue a career. And it was I was probably to actually be along with Siddharth to Singapore to attend Token 2049. And I was really excited by seeing that and it was so great to see and experience the kind of technology people are working across snow. And this is only I was looking from point of view of training and management head also that how much opportunity for my students is there. So it's all guys you have to take interest and start working on. I want all of you to be by 7th semester on board. That's what I can wish for all of you. And Devika, we promise you we will never decide. And Centurion will be always in to the forefront of the university or in the country at least to work with the blockchain technology. And I'm convinced today we are ready to participate in any of the event like the 49 and all. Maybe I would use my management to see that if we can be in Dubai. But yes, December we are there definitely in any of these locations, including Bangalore and all, where this academy is going to happen. And it's all will be my students' questions. So great job for everybody. And let's give a big round of applause for Avi, Siddharth, and of course, Siddharth will now be in the campus, nobody is there, and then
I'm not talking about the campus when he works, and it's not about event. When it literally Jedi was a chat in Singapore. So, I mean, it's dedication, man. And I'm very proud of him and we and all of you guys. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Now, before we conclude the event, I would like to request Dr. P.K. Mohanty sir to felicitate our guest, Devika ma'am. Sir, felicitate our guest, Mr. Sheesh Pandey. Please have a big round of
That's that's good side. No problem.
applause. We have to felicitate our guest, Mr. Pranava Saha Sardar. This incredible 4 day journey to formally conclude the event, I invite Mr. Abhimitra Sir for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shruti. Good afternoon, everyone. So actually, there is a very long lines are written over here to speak. But one experience I share that Siddharth, Nivan, and Shira, we were at IBW 2023, where Devika ma'am was giving the presentation of same presentation of Avalanche. We have seen that here. So that time, शायद हम सोच पा रहे थे कि one day she will be here in the capital. But she's there right now. This gives us an immense proud and thanks to Siddharth for connecting with her, and maybe disturbing us sometimes to come here and meet with our community and people here. And thank you, ma'am, for the support that you've given us for this whole day. Sriyansh and Karnako. So for the formality, I will see you this good afternoon to all of the esteemed guests, colleagues, and students, and all the support staff present over here. And Centurion students are my younger brothers and sisters. I, Abhimitra, co-founder and mentor of Campus to Campus Community. It's a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Today, I take this opportunity to express my dearest sense of gratitude and appreciation for the team Avalanche, Devika, Sriyansh, and Shana for making this event a huge success.
I feel words would lag behind on expressing my gratitude for our President sir and Vice President sir for their relentless support which made this event a dream come true. I cannot thank enough to our beloved Dr. Sufia Naik ma'am, Vice Chancellor Bhubaneswar, and P.K. Mohanty sir, Vice Chancellor Vijayanagar campus, for taking time of their busy schedule to ensure the operability and smooth functioning of the collaborative judgment. I'm extremely grateful to our pro-VCs, Dr. Vishwajit sir, and Dr. Ajay Naik sir for their coordination and helpfulness in making the event a memorable one. I cannot thank enough to Dr. Sujata Chakraborty ma'am, Dean Associate, a big shout out for ma'am. For being at Guardian, throughout this event, um, she has ensured that we receive every kind of support for such a magnificent event. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here with a smile on your face always. At the same time, I would love to extend my heartfelt affection and gratitude for the campus to crypto community for working tirelessly down the clock to ensure that the workshop and hackathon and bootcamp is successful and will remain as beautiful and useful memory in all of the participants in the event. I also take on this opportunity to sincerely express my gratitude to the MRC team led by Mr. Ashok sir and HR and administrator led by Chitra sir, Nushinga sir, and team for IT support, Hari sir, and team for electricity arrangements, Deepak sir, and team for food and hospitality for ensuring the smooth operation and overall success for this event. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Avalanche, for this wonderful collaboration. So I think with this, the meeting is formally over. It is some-
Thank you so much, Avi sir and Siddharth sir, for organizing and providing us such an opportunity to know more about blockchain and meeting such wonderful personalities. Thank you all once again for being a part of this 4-day Avalanche Odisha Bootcamp. We hope you enjoyed this event and leave with valuable knowledge and memories. Have a wonderful evening ahead, and we will see you in the next edition of this program. Thank you.